Once upon a time, in a quiet village nestled between rolling green hills and golden fields, there lived a lively little puppy named Poppy. With her soft caramel fur, floppy ears, and a wagging tail that never seemed to stop, Poppy was the heart of her village. She belonged to an old baker named Mr. Humphrey, whose bakery was the warmest, coziest spot in town. Every morning, the air filled with the sweet aroma of freshly baked bread, and Poppy was always there to greet customers with a cheerful bark. But Poppy wasn't just an ordinary puppy. She had an insatiable sense of curiosity. Every fluttering butterfly, rustling bush, or new scent in the air beckoned her to explore. While Mr. Humphrey worked in the bakery, Poppy often found herself wandering through the village square, making friends with everyone from the blacksmith to the school children. One sunny afternoon, as Poppy lounged lazily outside the bakery, a peculiar-looking bird swooped down and dropped a small envelope at her paws. The bird had vibrant blue feathers and eyes that sparkled with mischief. Before Poppy could bark a greeting, the bird flapped its wings and disappeared into the sky. Poppy nudged the envelope open with her nose. Inside was a note written in elegant handwriting. And quote, "Dear Poppy, the village of Willowdale needs your help. Something precious has been taken, and only you can bring it back. Follow the path through the meadow to the old oak tree at sunset. There, all will be revealed. Yours sincerely, a friend. And quote." Poppy tilted her head, her tail wagging furiously. A mystery. She loved the sound of an adventure, but she wondered what the letter meant. Why would someone need her help? She tucked the note under her collar and trotted back inside the bakery to wait for sunset. As the golden sun dipped low on the horizon, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink, Poppy dashed across the meadow, her little paws barely touching the ground. The old oak tree stood tall and proud, its gnarled branches reaching out like welcoming arms. Underneath the tree stood an unexpected sight, a group of animals. There was Benny the wise old owl, Daisy the timid rabbit, and Fergus the boisterous fox. Each wore a small token. Benny had a silver feather tucked into his wing, Daisy carried a pouch of herbs, and Fergus had a small wooden whistle around his neck. "We've been waiting for you, Poppy," said Benny, his voice calm and steady. "Something very dear to Willowdale has been stolen, the golden acorn. It keeps our village safe and prosperous. Without it, the crops will wither, and the rivers will dry up." Poppy's ears perked up. "Who took it?" she barked. "A shadowy figure," whispered Daisy, her nose twitching nervously. They disappeared into the Misty Hollow. Misty Hollow was a place of legend, dark, dense, and shrouded in perpetual fog. Many said it was enchanted, and no one who ventured inside ever returned. Poppy felt a flicker of fear but quickly squashed it. If her village needed her, she wouldn't let them down. "Let's go," she barked confidently. The journey to Misty Hollow was long and treacherous. The group had to cross a bubbling stream, climb steep rocky hills, and navigate through a thorny bramble patch. But Poppy's enthusiasm and determination kept everyone's spirits high. She sniffed out hidden parts, found berries for Daisy to nibble on, and even played a game of tag with Fergus to lighten the mood. When they finally reached the edge of Misty Hollow, the cheerful group fell silent. The towering trees were so dense that they blocked out the fading sunlight, and an eerie silence hung in the air. Benny flapped his wings, leading the way. "Stay close, everyone," he said. "And remember, trust your instincts." The group crept through the foggy forest, their footsteps muffled by the thick layer of moss underfoot. Shadows danced around them, and strange whispers seemed to echo through the trees. Fergus tried to act brave, but his tail kept twitching nervously. Daisy huddled close to Poppy, who walked with her head held high and her ears alert. After what felt like hours, they reached a clearing where an enormous tree stood. Its roots twisted and coiled like snakes, and its bark shimmered with an otherworldly glow. At its base sat a peculiar creature, a badger wearing a cloak adorned with tiny bells. "Who dares enter my domain?" the badger growled, his voice deep and gravelly. "We're here to retrieve the golden acorn," Poppy said boldly, stepping forward. The badger narrowed his eyes. "And why should I help you?" Poppy took a deep breath. "Because it's the right thing to do. The acorn doesn't belong here. Without it, our village will suffer." The badger stared at her for a long moment before chuckling. Brave words for such a small pup. "Very well, I'll make you a deal. Solve my riddle, and I'll show you the way to the thief. Fail, and you'll never leave this forest." Poppy's tail wagged. "What's the riddle?" The badger grinned. "I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with wind. What am I?" Poppy thought hard. She could hear Fergus mumbling to himself, and Daisy chewing on her paw nervously. Suddenly, Benny hooted softly, giving Poppy a knowing look. Poppy's eyes lit up. "An echo," she barked. The badger clapped his paws, the bells on his cloak jingling. "Correct. Follow the path to the left. But beware, the thief is not what they seem." The group followed the path until they reached a cave hidden behind a waterfall. Inside, the golden acorn sat on a pedestal, glowing with a soft golden light. But guarding it was a massive shadowy figure with gleaming red eyes. Poppy growled, ready to defend her friends. "Give back the acorn," she barked. To her surprise, the shadow let out a sorrowful sigh. "I didn't mean to steal it," he had said in a deep, rumbling voice. "I was lonely. The acorn's light makes me feel warm and loved." Poppy's anger melted away. She approached the shadow cautiously. "If you return the acorn, I promise to visit you. You don't have to be alone." The shadow hesitated before nodding. As it handed over the acorn, its dark form began to shrink, revealing a small, scared raccoon. "I just wanted a friend," the raccoon said softly. "You have one now," Poppy said with a gentle bark. With the golden acorn safely returned, the group made their way back to Willowdale. The villagers cheered as the acorn was placed back in its rightful spot, and the fields and rivers thrived once more. Poppy became the village hero, but she never let it go to her head. True to her word, she visited the raccoon in Misty Hollow every week, bringing him treats from the bakery and stories from the village. And so, Poppy's courage, kindness, and cleverness brought not only light back to Willowdale, but also a new friendship that proved even the darkest places can be filled with warmth and love.